In recent years, cane farmers have come under pressure to adopt new practices to reduce farm runoff. But they're not the only ones being urged to improve. Up and down the Queensland coast, local governments have also had to change. When the Fraser Coast Regional Council decided to tackle its main wastewater problem, no one was more surprised than local cane growers to discover they'd be the major beneficiaries. The residents of Maryborough might not realise it, but whenever they flush their toilet, their waste is headed for a useful second life. After it's treated, instead of being discharged into local waterways, the council reuses the wastewater to irrigate its own tree plantations and parklands, or it sells the water to golf clubs, turf farms and cane farmers.
So instead of going back into the river, comes here and we put it on cane, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Releasing treated effluent with nitrogen and phosphorus into waterways is undesirable, as the nutrient-rich water encourages algal growth, which disturbs aquatic ecosystems.
The advantage of the scheme is obviously that water was going back into the Mary River, so it's a health benefit to the river system.
Water from the $7 million project has been available since 2003.
The dam here holds about 700 megalitres. There's about half a dozen growers on it.
Reliable year-round water has given Jeff Atkinson the confidence to run 3 centre pivot irrigators.
The water's delivered at around 35-pound pressure, 40-pound pressure to growers at a price of $35 a megalitre. And then there's an agreement drawn up with Maryborough Sugar of a $10 rebate per megalitre for 10 years. It was a bit of incentive to get growers to come online and help with growers putting infrastructure in too. You know, some of us had supplementary irrigation, farm dams, few with little bores, but once this scheme came along, well, we didn't have to use them anymore, so a great benefit there, and it meets the standards for irrigation. Obviously not for drinking, but it's plenty good enough for irrigation. In the process, there's all around the farms there's monitoring bores so that no one over irrigates or gets too much of the water on to water table levels, so that's monitored too, and everything is checked as we go so that there can't be any environmental disasters.
Cane growers welcome the opportunity to irrigate.
The Maryborough area is not a high rainfall area, so irrigation is fairly essential. There are still only 60% of the district, I think, is irrigated, or 65%.
Access to irrigation water has given growers options beyond cane.
Well, one of the other things we're thinking about trialling is fertigating through the centre pivot. We're going to give that a bit of a trial in the next year or so and just see how that goes. And obviously the other thing too, when we're not growing cane here, we've got soya beans, so we use it, you know, if you just put your beans in a little bit dry, you can just give it that little bit to get them up. So, you know, it's not just for the cane, it's for the soya beans, which we grow in rotation to the cane, so an advantage there too with centre pivots.
Access to wastewater has bolstered growers' bottom lines.
You know, the results have been brilliant.